5-minute call. I call Lawrence Yule.
Well, here we are again, just before we go home after the week, and I reckon over half the bills that have been put before this parliament this week are National Party bills. And I'm delighted to actually speak to the second reading of this bill. Well, I haven't actually done the numbers, but it feels like that. If it's more, that's great. This bill is a great thing. It increases funding flexibility to tertiary education. But there's two things that I actually want to specifically comment on. One is the number of changes that are being made to support domestic and international students. And in some of my previous roles, I've seen how that hasn't always been perfect, particularly some of the welfare issues out of the actual institution themselves. So we need to ensure that the right settings are in place to support domestic and international students' safety and well-being, and to ensure that they receive a consistently high-quality education while in New Zealand. As has been alluded to by my colleague, the Honourable Tim McIndoe, over $4 billion goes into our economy every year. And importantly, the second part is how we increase funding flexibility. Because actually tertiary educations have asked for this, and I think this is a great way of responding to the request. There will be new conditions placed on funding. It allows less bureaucracy, it allows more flexibility, and importantly, Mr Speaker, it reduces the compliance burden for tertiary organisations. And it actually provides incentives for them to be innovative, to focus more on students and less on compliance. So in summary, with those two things, I think this is an important bill. I commend it to the House, and I reiterate that it's another National Party bill. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
I call